My name is Mikael Semexant. I am a painter. I work primarily with oil paint, but I work also with acrylic and also some oil pastels. I'm Haitian-American. I was born in South Florida to two Haitian parents. My mom was born in Port-au-Prince, and my dad was born in Brooklyn, but both of his parents are from Haiti. So his mom is from Cap-Haïtien, and then his dad is also from Port-au-Prince. Or is it Cap-Haïtien? It's somewhere in the north. I'm not 100% sure if it's Cap-Haïtien, but yeah. My artist journey starts when since I was a very small child. I think as soon as I was able to pick up a pencil or a crayon, I was making art. And I think all kids go through that phase as children where they are coloring, drawing, painting. But I just simply never stopped. I drew a lot all throughout elementary, middle, and high school. I was kind of known as the art kid in my schools. And in 2016, I started to learn how to paint. I was watching a lot of Bob Ross on YouTube out of sheer boredom. And I was like, actually, that looks kind of easy and fun and I want to try. So I bought my first oil paints and I started learning how to paint. And I've been doing that ever since. And lockdown happened a couple years afterwards. And I started painting, actually this is the first one I did. I started to paint images from my family archives and kind of blowing them up and making them more painterly, I guess. And that kind of evolved into showing my, not only my growth as an artist, but as a Black person, as a Haitian person in the United States. I think a lot of the paintings that I've shown, a lot of the paintings that I've made, they show a very unseen side of the Black experience. Not only the Black experience, but the Haitian experience. I think our culture can be a little private sometimes. So taking those very intimate and inside moments and putting them outside, I feel was very important to me in my practice. I think growing up, I definitely experienced this feeling of in-betweenness that the show is about, where I knew that I was formed in America, I was born in America, and my Haitian identity kind of felt distant and far away, even though it was something that I always held near and dear. When I started the residency at the Bailey Contemporary Arts Center, they let me know that my Artist of the Month was in May. And as somebody who cares a lot about Haitian history, politics, and culture, I knew immediately that May is Haitian Heritage Month, and I wanted to honor Haiti in that way. And through doing that show, I was able to kind of have a conversation with myself about whether or not I'm Haitian enough to make art like this. And the answer ended up being, yeah, of course I am. And having that push and pull with myself and giving myself the permission to express love for Haiti in that way really helped me to own my Haitian identity. And yeah, a lot of those pieces really changed how I work on paintings. It completely reshaped my process in my artistic practice. Honestly, I'm still going through a lot of changes right now. Typically, I find an idea or a thought that I want to convey. Usually the symbolism and images, I pull them from the things that naturally bubble up inside of me when I think of that idea. And then I pull references to kind of collage in a way and create a composition that would feel satisfying as a painting. And then I put that painting, I work on the painting physically. Lately, I've been doing a lot more idea to canvas work. So instead of finding the references before, composing the images before, I do all of those things through the process. So I simply just start with an idea, put the paint on the canvas, and then when I hit a roadblock, I figure out the roadblock and then I move forward. So I'm still working through like exactly what my process looks like consistently, but I think working on my solo show and also now having the freedom to work outside of that show, I'm trying a lot of new things and experimenting a bit more with how I compose paintings. So the pieces that are in the show, one of them is from the first series that I was doing, which this painting is a part of, where I was painting a lot of scenes from my childhood. One of them is the garden, which talks about the relationship I have with my grandmother, who's not truly my grandmother because both my maternal and paternal grandmothers passed away before I was born. So I never got to meet them. And growing up, I didn't have that grandmother figure, that biological grandmother figure, but there was a woman in my neighborhood who would take care of me after school. She was an older Haitian woman, and I spent a lot of time with her. I spent a lot of time in her house, in conversation with her, receiving care from her, working in her garden. And I made a connection between the loving care that she put into her garden and the loving care that she put into me. And I made a painting showing the blossoming of the garden as a metaphor for who I am today, and me as a child, showing where I started. And that's from the series. I called it When I Thought We Would Be Kids Forever. And the other painting, the one of my brother and I in a tree, that painting is about the kind of me growing into my artistic process, and not only my artistic process, but how I approach life in general. I tend to be a very reserved and safe person. I tend to take the safe route with things, and learning to trust myself enough to do the opposite is something that I had to do in order to create that painting. And it's something that I spent a lot of time thinking about while working on it. And the last painting is actually something that I made outside of the show. So after the residency had finished, I started working on something new because I had been doing a lot of paintings that were very representational and not very symbolic. They were more literal depictions of the aspects of Haitian culture that I really love and find really beautiful. And I decided to try something new because I love the idea of using symbols, metaphors in my work. But because I was working so fast during the solo show, there wasn't really too much time. So when it was finished, I kind of gave myself 2 months to just work on a single thing, and that's what came out of it. It was a very slow process. It's called Midnight Prayer. It's about my relationship with prayer as a queer Haitian person who grew up Christian, and that Christianity was used as when I was young to focus primarily on what I was doing wrong and kind of trying to force change that nobody was really asking of me, and just kind of talking about how that really ruptured my relationship with both God and prayer. And I think working on that painting allowed me to, again, be in conversation with myself about that thing and really move forward with being comfortable with prayer and moving in a way where I practice for myself and not because that's what's being asked of me, that's what's being demanded of me. And I think that painting is something that's really special to me, and it, again, has reshaped the way that I make paintings. Even now, I'm not using the same exact process that I used then, but I want to continue to move forward with that same level of intention in my work and kind of what's the word? Intuition as well. Midnight prayer is overview. It's a painting about my relationship to prayer and working through the trauma that I experienced as a child with prayer in order to move forward in a more intentional and like healthy prayer practice. And I think like as a kid, I knew I was gay from a very early age. So knowing that and also having to fight with the Christianity that I did believe at the time, it was impossible to reconcile both of those identities and both of those realities. That kind of like inner turmoil for a child is it really does tear you apart in a way where you are forced to be two different people, and one of which feels like a lie because of the other, and the other feels like damnation because of the other. It's this like very difficult, it's a very difficult world to live in, like a very difficult in-between to live in. And as a child, like as a small child especially, having to understand that the people around me believed that I was an abomination in a sense was also did shape a lot of the ways that I show up in my life today. And prayer is one of those places where those two aspects of my identity really, really just like fought. Like there was just a really intense battle of those two realities of my identity. Both of them feel like they're not allowed to exist in the same body at the same time. So prayer is that place where I was like begging God to change me in a way that would satisfy the scripture, I guess. Not even, it wouldn't satisfy me. Sorry, I wasn't looking for that change for myself. I was looking for it to satisfy rules that I never really agreed to, you know? And that painting is also a conversation about queerness, because queerness is not, you know, something that is chosen or like, what's the word? It's not something that's chosen or intentional. It really is simply an aspect of somebody's humanity. And religion, the divine spirituality is supposed to be synchronous with humanity. It's supposed to enhance your humanity. But that that experience really felt like a moment where I was taking away from my humanity. I was denying myself my humanity. So that painting is really a conversation about that, and just looking for that sweet spot where I'm feeling what's the word? Well, like I've realized that wholeness of between my spirituality and my sexuality, because sexuality is also spiritual. So being able to reconcile those two, you know, practice of prayer and also the reality of who I love. So I think that painting really speaks to that conversation, and really, I hope, adds an important voice to allow other people who see it to not only see themselves, but maybe somebody who I wouldn't see eye to eye with can see that and understand the impact that ideas like homophobia in religion have on the people in the religion who don't really have another choice.
Is this the first time that you've explored your queerness in your artwork?
Um,
in a front-facing way?
Definitely the first time in a front-facing way. I think I am not completely out to my family. I'm kind of at a point now where I really don't care. I don't rely on my family anymore to provide for me, which was the main reason why I kept it a secret for a really long time. Again, I tend to take the safe route. I don't like to stir the pot too much in fear of something happening that I couldn't have, planned for. But I think I my queerness is something that I needed to talk about in my work. I just never had the the safety to do so, the security to do so. And even like this painting caused some conversations. I had to have some harder conversations with my mom when I posted it, and it was something I knew would ruffle feathers, but like I think I'm ready for it at this point. Yeah. I think it definitely depends on the piece that they're looking at, but I definitely want people to feel a sense of connection, that catharsis that you feel as well when you see a good piece of art. And I want people to feel seen, like when they see a painting. I feel like a lot of the work that I did when I first started like my art career, I guess, was focused mostly on having Black people see themselves in ways that they haven't seen themselves before and feeling seen and connecting in that way. My series about Haiti, seeing your culture displayed in a way that's not atypical, but unique, I guess, because it's coming from my perspective. So feeling that connection to me and also feeling seen in your cultural identity. And with my most recent painting and how I want to move forward, just that feeling of saying something that just is not talked about, and feeling seen that somebody else is saying the same thing that you've been thinking or feeling. And yeah, I think that connection, that feeling seen, and that catharsis is like the main goal with what I make. Of music, community, food, resilience. This isn't a word, but a love for our Blackness, I feel like is really important, and really present in the way that we show up. And spiritual, I think, as well. I think every Haitian person has a connection to their spirituality that is very unique, from what I've seen in other, cultural contexts, I guess. So before I entered into the residency, I didn't really know that my Artist of the Month was going to be in May. I didn't know that until we had all met up and stuff. But prior to that, I was thinking a lot about the project that I wanted to produce for, sorry, I need to look at the camera.
You're fine.
I needed to think about the project that I wanted to produce for the show. So I knew that I wanted to incorporate Haiti more in my work because up until that point, I had made maybe 7 or 8 paintings in the childhood series, and none of them really spoke directly to my Haitian identity, and that was something that was kind of eating at me, and I wanted to change that, I guess. So I read this book. It was called Masterpieces of Haitian Art, and I was living in Port St. Lucie at the time, so no libraries actually had it available. I had to like have them special order the book, so that I could read it, and I just like devoured the book. It was such like an eye-opening experience because a lot of the painters, I didn't know their names, but I knew their work because I had seen either paintings similar to those paintings in my like family homes, I've been to the NSU Art Museum many times before, so I'd seen, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Hold on, I know his name.
Eric?
Not Eric. He had the blue room. Oh my gosh, how am I forgetting this right now?
It's okay.
Sorry, but
You can come back to it.
he had this really beautiful installation about Haitian voodoo in the NSU Art Museum, and it was this room, and it was like these stained glass windows with different loi in all of like the different sections, and I just found that so beautiful. I found it brave as well to display voodoo in such like a bold way as well. But yeah, things like that really shaped my love for Haiti and like wanting to take all of the aspects of the culture and like combine them and like put them on a plate and like serve them to an audience. And I think that that experience really shaped me, where I was like, there is such a rich tradition of specifically painting in Haiti. Like it's like since the 60s, there's been such a like a consistent just line, like a lineage almost of absolute genius painters in Haiti. And yeah, and I also, Sophia Lacroix, she reached out to me before anything had really happened for me. And her work is beautiful. It's just, it always feels so tender, so intimate. And also her technique is fantastic. But she reached out to me before anything had really happened, and she told me like, I need to take it seriously. Like I need to join groups. I need to go to shows. I need to apply for shows. And she really like pushed me to do that. I hope like you all enjoy the show. I hope you get a chance to feel that that conversation of identity that all the artists are having in the show. And I hope you like my work.